Hello everyone, this is Sonya from Sonya's Creations. I had to think for a second. It's been so long since I've been on. It's been absolutely crazy with Thanksgiving, and then after the weekend after Thanksgiving, we went to on a weekend trip. We went to the Smoky Mountains for 2 nights, and then the payday before Thanksgiving payday, my daughter was here visiting with her 3 children, and it was just crazy. So I have not been on here for a while. I'm almost done with a little background for those of you who may not know. I am a quilter. I have a quilt shop. I'm a manufacturer of quilts. I have been taking orders for 7.5 years. I will no longer be taking orders after I complete my orders that I have now. I have a few that has to be done by Christmas, then I have a few more that hopefully will be finished by the middle of January, and I will be done taking orders anymore. The stress is just way too much. It's just absolutely too much stress to take orders and have people waiting on you. So I'm going to be making whatever I want to make, whatever quilts I decide to make. I'll be teaching classes on this channel. And I'll be offering my quilts up for sale on my Facebook group, which is called Sonya's Quilts and Embroidery. Haven't changed the name of that yet, but it will be Sonya's Creations later, but right now it's Sonya's Quilts and Embroidery. I also share, it is a lifestyle channel, I share my other hobby, which is journal making, and I also share mine and my husband's budget. And so it's just me and my husband. My daughter still lives with us, but she pays her own bills. We have a son that is 37. He lives down around Auburn, Alabama, and he has a girlfriend, and they both work and have their own home. And then we have our youngest son is 2 years younger than our oldest son. He lives up in Pulaski, Tennessee. He is a project engineer at the company that he works at, where they make gaskets for high-end cars. His wife is a registered nurse, and she is the district manager over a dialysis group, and she travels from one to the other. She may spend a day at one and a day at the other, back and forth. I'm not really sure how she does that. She may spend a half a day at one and a half a day at the other. I'm not really sure how she does it. She just started that job about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So, and then we have our oldest daughter. She is married with a stepdaughter and 3 children, and her husband is a sergeant in the Army. He is Army Airborne. They are stationed down at Fort Rucker, and they are pregnant with his 5th and her 4th child. If you ask her, she would say our 5th. So she is close to her stepdaughter, so she would say her 5th, but it's actually her 4th and her husband's 5th, and they are she's a stay-at-home mother. And then our middle daughter is a mother of 3. She is divorced. She works at a credit union and lives in the county just south of here. And then we have our youngest daughter, Charlotte. She's 22, and she still lives at home. So that's a little bit about our life. And my mother has passed away. My father lives in Honduras. He'll be 80 years old in February, and he has 3 young biological children of 19, 14, and I don't know if the youngest one's 4 or 5. I've never seen her before. My husband's, both of his parents have passed away, and his father just passed away this year. So that's a little bit of and we have 10 grandchildren, 7 grandsons and 3 granddaughters, and a new one on the way. So that's a little bit about what goes on in our personal life. In my business life, I get up in the mornings, give me something to drink. Sometimes I get something to eat. Most of the time I don't. I walk across the yard out here to my shop, and I go to work. And I work out here until I get hungry. I go back across the yard. I get me some lunch, and then I come back and I work until I get hungry again, and then I stay in usually after that meal, unless I'm just feeling really, really spry that day. After supper, I usually don't come back. And then I do it all over again the next day. And we recently, in the beginning of last year, started doing our budget. And it made a huge difference in our life. Such a huge difference that I wanted to share it with everyone. And I have told of our experience to the girls of the bank. I've told our experience to our children, and I have got, actually, my son and his wife have actually started doing it about 2 weeks ago, and were absolutely shocked at how much money that they had been wasting. And so I think that inspired my daughter-in-law to do it every 2 weeks. I hope so. They have 3 boys, and the oldest one is in school in Houston right now, studying to be a commercial diver. And then they have their 2 adopted boys, which actually are my oldest son's children, but they have adopted them, and they are 8 and 10, and they're in my house right now. Don't know how long they'll be here. Their mom and daddy is sick, so don't know how long they'll be here, but they're welcome as long as they need to stay, or until I poop out, whichever comes first. But anyway, December the 11th, which was yesterday, and I had already written all this out, but my husband actually worked yesterday. He is a paramedic with a government contract. He works out of Tuscaloosa, and it's a veterans contract, and he actually worked yesterday. He normally gets home at lunch on Fridays, but he didn't get home until lunch today. He's gone from Tuesday morning to Friday at lunch, but he worked an extra day this week, I guess to make up for the day he took off last week for us to go to the Smoky Mountains. So I had projected our income would be $2,500, and it turned out that with what was left in our checking account and our income, it actually is $33,61.72. Let me bring you in a little closer. Maybe you can see this a little better, I hope. And then the end of the paycheck we got for Thanksgiving, I actually paid all of our monthly bills, which is right back here. Let's see. Right here. I had the truck in there, payment in there, but I took it out. I have a 2018 Chevy Silverado. My husband owns his, he's got a 2016 Chevy Silverado that he got when his father passed away. We bought my sister-in-law out of her half, and so he owns his truck outright. It's a 2016 3/4 ton Duramax diesel, nice truck, and we bought her out of her half of that truck, and so we own his truck outright. And I owe, I think, $34,000 on my truck, and I have been making huge payments on it. The first payment I made was $1,500, and the second payment I made a payment of $1,777.75. That's what I could spare to extra to go toward that. But I have paid the water bill, the phone bill, the internet, all those little bills at the first check of the month. And then I only had 4 sinking funds because I had decided a few weeks ago to not do all those small sinking funds. But I have decided to go back to that. I just like it. I just like having it available and knowing what I've got for that. So I've decided to go back to that. So we would take, I'm going to make a $1,000 truck payment this month. And that is actually not correct, but I will show you what I mean by that in a minute, which left us a balance of $23,61.72. And I did leave a little cushion in our checking account, just in case something comes through that I did not think about. So it left us with $23,61.72 after the truck payment was made. And then we have our groceries is $400, our gas is $150, and our spending money for the total for both of us is $160, and that is for 2 weeks. And then I have gone back, and my sinking funds have changed a whole lot since I had them before. I have 10 now, and I only have 9 listed right here, but I will show you where the 10th one comes in. For birthdays, we will start having birthdays again the end of February for the grandchildren, and I'm going to be putting $10 every payday into our birthday sinking fund. Christmas 2021, I put $40 every payday in there, and at the end of the month, I take it to the bank and I put it into a Christmas Club account. Funny story about that. I started doing that at the end of October. I made our first deposit. Since we got paid 3 times in October, I took $120 in October to open up the Christmas Club account, and on the 30th of October, and the very next day, it went right back to our savings because apparently the Christmas clubs pay out on the 31st. And so that money went from Christmas Club back into savings the very next day. So I'm $120 short of where I would like to be on the Christmas Club. I'm going to wait till after the first of the year, beef up the Christmas Club just a little bit to make up for that $120 mistake I made, and get that on track. Right now, our Christmas Club account has $80 in it, and I will save this $40 and then the $40 for next payday, and I'll deposit that $80 into our Christmas Club and bring that total up to $160. I have now got a boat sinking fund. My husband and I, the desire of our heart is to own a pontoon. Nothing fancy. It's just something that we can fish off of if we want to. We can take the grandkids out on to for the day and let them swim off of it, whatever we want to do, but we'd like to have a pontoon, mostly to fish off of, because we both like to fish a whole lot. We have a car maintenance fund. Sorry. We put $100 in there. Medical, we put $10 in our medical. That's for co-pays, drugstore, stuff like that, because we are heavily insured through Blue Cross Blue Shield of Alabama. We have vision, dental, and then through Aflac we have cancer, hospitalization, and accident. So we're going to just stick back $10 a paycheck to cover any co-pays. I'm not on any kind of maintenance type medicines. My husband is, for blood pressure and a couple other things, and so he's usually the only one that uses out of this. Our house insurance, I put back $35 every payday because it will be due in April, and it's about, I think it's about $330, $335, something like that. So I put $35 a payday in the house insurance sinking fund so that when that bill is due, I can go right down the road and pay them in cash, and I'm done for 6 more months. The house miscellaneous, $50. I call this a whoops account, and that's for when something unexpected comes up and we have the $50 that we can draw out of. And I usually don't draw out of that, but just in case something comes up. Projects, my husband asked me to add this particular sinking fund, because in case he would like to go to Lowe's or Home Depot or the hardware store and get something he may need to fix something around the house and on our property. And so I'm putting $100 into his project envelope. And also we need a new refrigerator. For about a year, just about a year, and matter of fact, a year Christmas Eve, I went into the house and the refrigerator had pee-peed all over the kitchen floor. And since then, it does make ice and it does keep things cold, but it keeps some things too cold. It freezes lettuce, it freezes tomatoes, it freezes mayonnaise. So you have to be real careful about where you put things in the refrigerator to keep that from happening. And refrigerators, I don't know if you've checked them out lately, but they're quite expensive. And once again, it is the desire of my heart to have a French door refrigerator with a ice maker and water dispenser in the door, and those are quite pricey. If I cannot hold out until I have got enough money to save up for it, I will go and just purchase it, but at least $100 a payday will take some of the bite out. Depends on when the refrigerator breaks down, how much bite it will take out of that. So our sinking funds for this week is $545. And that brings us, the beginning total was $1,651.42 after the cash envelopes and the truck payment. Brings us down to $1,106.72. Drop that down here, and I've decided to pay another $500 on the truck, which will bring that total to $1,500 to pay on the truck. And then that leaves me with $606.72. I had to leave, I left $150.72 in the bank, and which left us with a surplus of about $456, which I have made a cash envelope to put that in. And that's so that, I'm just going to keep a little surplus cash. And so if the refrigerator does break down, before I can save up very much, I'll put the refrigerator sinking fund with this cash envelope, and that will take more of a bite out of it. So we do have money in savings. I'm not going to disclose how much we have in savings. We have inherited some money this year due to my father-in-law's death, and so therefore we do have a pretty nice savings account, but I'm not going to disclose that amount. Sorry. All right. So I go to the back here, I write down everything that I need to take cash out of the bank for, and I've got it all listed and how much I want, and then how I want it broke down. I always break the groceries, and the groceries at my home include everything it takes to run my house. I keep a refrigerator full of drinks, whether it be Lipton's peach tea or water or my favorite soft drinks, whatever. Juices, fruit juices, whatever. Dog food, any kind of bathroom products, toiletries, paper products for the kitchen and the bathroom, cleaning supplies. Everything is included in this $400 for the running of my home. And then $160 for spending. 100 of that is my husband's and 60 is mine. 60 is mine because I work basically from home. I work just across the driveway from home. I take my lunch in. I go in the house and get my lunch. I have, drinks accessible to me. I have everything that you might stop at the store and pick up. I have at home. And so I just keep $60 for spending just in case I want to stop and get a Mickey D sweet tea, or if I want to go into Tuesday mornings and pick up some scrapbooking supplies or whatever. I keep $60, and I try to keep it at $30 a week in my wallet and keep the other $30 back. Gas is $150. This is for mine and my husband's. He does drive a diesel. I drive a gasoline, and $150 usually well covers the gas products that we need. He drives to work one time a week, drives back home one time a week, and so a lot of times I use more gas than he does. But normally on the weekends, if we go anywhere, we go in his vehicle, and mine sits in the driveway and does not use any gas on the weekends. And then $10 for birthdays. I've got all this marked down, the denominations that I wanted and how many I wanted. I added them all up down here at the bottom. It came out to $17.10, and my total was $17.11. When I need another dollar, I usually don't ask for it at the bank, because I have usually got a dollar bill laying around somewhere, and I don't want to get a single dollar bill. So that is our cash breakdown for this pay period. And then I took my little paper from the Budget Mom. I use a Budget Mom paycheck to paycheck workbook, and these are on the back page of each month. And this is a little breakdown just like this one, but condensed. And take this to the bank, and the teller will give you exactly what you asked for. And so that's what I did a few minutes ago. And I have got my cash on my envelopes, my sinking funds, and my cash spending. I keep the grocery, the gas, and my spending in my wallet. Looks like this. This is my cash I just picked up. I'm going to use this, set this aside for a cheat sheet, so I can remember what I had in my mind when I wrote all this down. Which the bank was out, only had 250s, and I needed 4. So we'll just have to, I told them how to break it down, and so we'll just have to make it work. Get all this straightened out. It doesn't bother me that much if it's straightened out or not, but I know some people it does. So I'm just going to get this straightened out for those of you that it does bother. You would think when it comes straight out of the teller window and I take it straight out of the envelope, it would all be straightened out, because apparently bankers are kind of OCD about this, but sometimes it comes every direction you could possibly think of, and those are kind of stuck together. Got more 20s than anything. Rearrange things just a little bit here. Set those aside. I don't have anything to clean out of my wallet this week, take anything out that I did not spend, because I already did. I did that. I had a lot of grocery money left over because I just really didn't need that many groceries. We were gone last weekend, and I basically used what I had left in spending, grocery and gas to pay up for our meals and stuff while we were gone. So we had a very economical trip. It's just my husband and I, well, my sister and her family went, but we didn't have to buy anybody's food but our own. So, all right, I'm going to do our cash envelopes first. And for groceries, I need $400, so I'm going to take a 100, these two 50s, and 10 20s. 1, 2, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, $200. So for groceries, we have 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 50, 300, $400 for groceries. And it'll probably take all of that this time, because I have to plan and prepare for my Christmas meal. And then for gas, I like to use 7 20s for $150. 7 20s and a 10. 20, 40, 60, 80, 1, 20, 40, 50. So we have 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 50. Those feel new. And for my spending, I'm going to go ahead and put the 60 in here. That I will probably take out 30 of that. And sometimes I even forget I have it. So sometimes at the end of 2 weeks, I still have all of it. And then for my husband's spending money, he gets 4 20s and 2 10s. So he takes $50 a week to work with him. He has an office that they have a kitchen and a bathroom and a place to sleep and a living room to watch TV and all of that. And him and his partner cook a lot of their meals. I put this into the cigar box with the sinking funds so that he has easy access to that. And then for our cash envelopes, we're going to start with birthdays. And these are just a hodgepodge of different envelopes that I gathered up. I need to make me a new set. And I just threw that one in there because I had it. Birthdays gets $10. And I'm going to keep track of this too. Birthdays has $10 in it. December the 11th, 20, $10. I don't know if you can see that or not. And then next we have Christmas 2021. And we have nothing in it right now because I took it to the bank December the 3rd for November. So I'm going to add $40 in there. And I am going to keep a running total of what is actually in the Christmas Club. So December the 11th, which was yesterday payday. I know today is Saturday, but still we have $120 with this 40. And then we have the boat fund. I don't have these in any particular order, and it gets $100. And that is all it has, because this is a new thing, so it has a $100 balance. Next is car maintenance. It gets $100, and it already has some. Let's just see how much it does have. Didn't have a whole lot in it, but there's 1, 2, 210, 215, 216 in car maintenance. And I'm just going to just write down what the balance is today, and then I'll add to it. $216 in car maintenance. Then we have medical, and it gets $10. And then we have house insurance, and it gets $35. So that gives us a total. Straighten this out. And I don't know why it has $1 in it, but might have been the change I had left over from when I paid it. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 5, 60, 65, $166 in house maintenance. Not house maintenance, house insurance. And then in the house miscellaneous, there's my envelopes were smudged. It gets $50. And this is where they were out of $50, so I'm having to compromise. It has $50 in there now. And then we have projects, and it gets $100. And that's all it has in there. And then we have refrigerator. Gets $100. $100 in there. And then our last one is cash. I'm supposed to have $456. 1, 2, 3, 4, 20, 40, 50, $1.25. And I told you I do not get out $1 bills out of the bank, because I've usually got a dollar bill somewhere. And there's one right there. So $456 in the cash envelope. And we will write that down right here in our little book. All right, that is it for, and I'm going to pay that $1,500 to my truck payment. And I've already got my budget written out for next payday. The last payday of the month, I go ahead and pay all the bills, because by the last payday of the month, all of our power bill has come in, the water bills come in, all those have come in, and I know how much they are, and some of them are set in stone of how much they are, so I just go ahead and write those down, our life insurance, all of that, and then I pay all of these bills with the first payday of the month. And then the last payday of the month, I pay the first of the month's bills. And then the last payday of the month, I pay my truck payment. Which I've talked to my sister-in-law, which is a bank. She is a banker. And I had heard somewhere that you could, if you made a payment, a partial payment at the beginning of the month, and then made another partial payment, another payment at the end of the month, it really cuts your interest down really fast. Which makes a lot of sense, because you're cutting the more you cut your principal down, the less interest can be, added to it. So I may try that. May see what I have left over after all of these bills are paid, and see if there's even just a little bit that I can take and make a partial truck payment and get that principal on down further. Because I am trying, if I don't have my truck paid off in a year, I plan on it being substantially lower. I've got a running total right here. My book got tore, which really upsets me, but it got tore in the area that has already been colored in. I've got the truck payment down to the balance down to $34,200, and with paying $1,500, it's going to bring it down another. Well, actually, I got it halfway across this one. So 1, 2, 3. It will bring it down, when I make my payment in a few minutes, it will bring my payment, what I owe on it, down to $33,600. And I've got these in $200 increments. And it actually, in $200 increments, it only covered a page and a little bit on the next page. So, visual, for me, visual things that I can make, that I can see things visually, it helps me mentally. So knowing that these are just $200 increments really, kind of puts it more in perspective for me. I know $33,000 is still a lot of money, but I am doing my best to pay this way, way, way down in a year. So I got till September the 3rd, it's our second or third, that I've had the truck be a year, and I would like it to be at least way down here by then. But we'll see. We don't live extravagant lives. We very, very rarely go shopping for clothes or anything like that. We wear our shoes until they're worn out, and that is not a thing that we live like this super, super frugal life. It's just that I'm not into having a whole lot of shoes. Now, if you talk purses now, that's a whole nother story. I love purses. But I typically wear my tennis shoes out here to work, and I wear them until they're just absolutely ready to throw in the trash. My clothes, I dress comfortably out here in my shop so that I can sew, and I wear those clothes until they're absolutely worn completely out. My husband wears a uniform during the week. He only wears his regular clothes on the weekends, and we don't go out much. We're not partiers. We may go out and get us something to eat. Sometimes we go to Sonic drive-thru. Sometimes Sonic the drive-in. Sometimes we get our order our food from a restaurant and go pick it up. Not because we're scared of COVID, because we're not. We are not running from the COVID. But if you order like your food from like Olive Garden and pick it up and bring it home, it's a fraction of the cost because you don't have all those drinks and all that you might order if you stayed at the restaurant. So you can get 2 nice meals and nice salad, and my husband usually gets the soup instead of salad. Get all of that, and it's just like $30 for the both of you, and it makes a big difference. So we just don't go out that much. We're not extravagant people. Our home is 2 bedroom, 1 bath, living room, kitchen, and carport. We don't. It's what we need. It's not more than we need. I don't want more than we can keep clean, and it's all we can do to keep that 950 square foot clean sometimes. Because I work out here an awful lot. He's gone during the week. So we do the best we can, and we're just not extravagant people. So we just don't go out here and, buy a lot of unnecessary things. We just don't. I was thinking the other day, I have lived probably in my adult life, I have only had a dishwasher, and I'm 56, and I got married when I was 17, and so I've been married, oh my God, nearly 40 years, oh my Lord, and out of that 40 years, about 2 years of that, I had a dishwasher. The rest of the time, it's just, and you can tell by my hands, the rest of the time, it's just soap and water and elbow grease is all, and I would like to have a dishwasher now. I just don't have anywhere in the cabinets to put it. There's just not enough room in the cabinets for it under the counter for it to go. Don't have room for one of those portable kind, so we just wash them and let them drain. But I am in the market for a new refrigerator, and I did go on the internet last night and look at them, and they are pricey. So, guess I'll hold off on that for as long as I can. So, maybe mine will hold out until I can save up, at least $1,000 to take the herd out. We do not have credit cards. I have not owned a credit card in years. Matter of fact, we have not had a credit card in 7.5 years because when we bought this house, we consolidated all of our debts and we took out a loan. We didn't consolidate. We took out a loan and paid off every one of our small debts. And so we don't have any credit cards, don't owe any credit card debts. And the only thing we owe on right now is an ELOC that we're trying to get paid off and my truck. And that's the only 2 debts that we have. So I hope this video inspired you to get yourself on a system of saving money and trying to, and if you write it down and, take pen to paper and write it all down, you'll be surprised. I was shocked the very first time I did this back in January and realized how much money was slipping through our fingers every payday because we did not have a plan. So get yourself a plan. I don't really call it a budget. It's more of a plan to telling your money, this money you go here and this money you go there. And, so we'll do a wallet clean out about the middle of the week. Well, a couple days before Christmas, we'll do a wallet clean out and see how much money we had left over from our cash envelopes. But if you found this video helpful, inspiring, if you found out that this, maybe this is a plan that can help you, please leave a comment. Let me know that. Hit that bell. Hit that subscribe button. I'm fastly approaching 1,000 subscribers. I've gotten several subscribers over the past 2 weeks, and so just working at a little at a time to get there to 1,000. I will be going back to some quilt classes and techniques after the first of the year. I will be doing some more junk journal tutorials after the first of the year, and I am going to stay on track with the budget, the money plan of next week, and because doing it this way holds you more accountable. You can't hardly cheat when you got cash and you're counting it out on camera, so you can't hardly cheat doing that. So thank you all so very much, and have a great day. And if I don't see you again, have a wonderful Christmas. Bye-bye.